Is it up?
It's up.
Okay, great. Hello everybody and welcome back to League of Ireland. This is a brand new season, season 11 for Tier 3. Now, my name is Josh Nater 6000 and here alongside me, as usual, back at it again, is Cav. How are we today, Cav?
Good, Josh. We are back and we are, of course, excited. I can see Con's already in the chat. He's been waiting for this for weeks. One of our biggest fans, of course. And we have, we've old faces coming back to Tier 3. We have some lads who were here last season. We have some lads new to LOI altogether. And we've a load of reserves as well in tonight. So it's going to be carnage. And if that wasn't enough, as always, we have a little bit of extra spice in that we have wet conditions for quali.
Indeed, yeah. Portugal in the dry is already slippy enough, and then you have the rain added on top of it. It's going to be even more important to get a lap on the board here around this track. Now, speaking of a lap on the board, we have Azza, who's going to attempt to do that. So, Cav, as usual, why don't you take us away?
Yeah, so Azza coming around onto the main straight. Tricky, obviously, in these conditions, but getting the foot down as early as he can. Obviously, no DRS in these conditions, but he will during the race, which is predicted to be dry. And now, dropping down the gears, he usually would go into 5th in the dry. He might even need 4th in these conditions. Oh, he just keeps it in and flat through here now in the dry. A little bit of a lift in the wet. You're coming into 3rd gear. You have a lot of these yellow sausage curbs on this track, and basically you want to avoid hitting those, but getting as close to them as possible helps you obviously carry as much speed through this tight and twisty track. 2nd DRS zone in the dry here, and as you come down now, usually into 3rd, maybe even 2nd gear for a bit of rotation if needed. Forced for Azza. You're going to be using the full width of the track on the right hand side. You want to get up through the gears as quick as you can. Use the right hand side AstroTurf for a little bit of extra grip, and now here you just be doing a little light lift, even more so in the wet, and a very tricky traction zone, although you can get the power down a little bit quicker than you think given that it's uphill. Careful coming downhill now. He'll be swinging the car as tight to the left as possible and into probably the trickiest braking zone on the track. You kind of want to trail brake your way through here. Again, you have a yellow curb as a reference point on the inside, and now downhill you have to be very careful on traction through there. You could easily lose it. As you come up now into the heart of Sector 3, again, you can run as close to that yellow sausage curb as possible, and now you want to set yourself up for a good exit onto the main straight, and obviously once you get the power down here, you're going to be carrying that speed right down into turn 1, so important to get a good exit, as it does an okay job of it, and you want to hook as close as you can to the right hand side without scrubbing off too much speed. A little oversteer for Azza, but he does well to correct it, and a steady enough pace at a 1:28.3 gets us going for season 11.
Does indeed. Now, it'll be interesting to see what kind of times we have for other people, because I have no idea what a 28.3 is like in terms of pace around here in the wet. So we are going to find out. That is the precedent that is set so far. So only time will tell whether that's a good lap or not. I think another lad on a lap. We have a few lads on laps. Is that a Haas out there? Is that King Papa? Formerly known as LOI Nolan, so whatever name he changes back to, the other one's going to come back to haunt him. Here he goes around the last corner, which is flat out in the dry, won't be flat out in the wet today. And here he goes crossing the line. What's it going to be for King Papa? And it's a 27.3, a second faster than the banker lap by Azza, and then a 27.5 for Daniel Mullen, so not too bad by Daniel Mullen there.
Oh, Daniel's shown that he's not just here to make up the numbers. And Carl with a 26.6, so conditions look to be slightly improving. From the telemetry I can see, 10 minutes away is 20% chance of rain, so strong chance this session might just dry up towards the end and become a dry tyre shootout, but we'll see. Busy in the chat as well, I can see.
And hurry train. Jeez, look at that, 26.1. So
he's the rain master.
The favourite for this season.
Stepping up from tier 4, of course. But yeah, I can see that Ben in the chat is predicting King Papa to win, and I don't think that's an unreasonable prediction. He's gone close many a time, but just not been able to string the races together to mount the championship challenge.
And Bluefoot in the chat there. How are my favourite commentators? Con is not on tonight, Bluefoot. No. So you have to ask Con there tomorrow how he is. Bluefoot.
Luke Gunnar just getting a 5-place grid penalty for contact with Budge. So that's not ideal. Budge pumping in a 26.9 for P3 at the moment, but that's going to force Blue Gunner's starting position.
Interesting one. Good old Wheelo on a lap here. So he's going to be reserving in Tier 3 tonight. Coming up from Tier 4, taking an interesting middle of the track line.
Yeah, Wheelo doing one of these fake retirements, similar to Jeff Stelling on Soccer Saturday. I'm retiring, I'm back, I'm retiring, I'm back. But he is back, filling in tonight as a reserve. And is he going to abandon this lap? Well, he's no choice now. I don't know if he meant to end up in the pits, but Wheelo has given up on that one. And yes, Rando, the seven safety cars bet is still on. It is very much still on. That is a long-term commitment from Josh. We haven't tied into a multi-season contract, and Barbie Girl will be sung at the top of his voice if we get it. Yeah, exactly.
And Ronan now with a 26.2, so not a bad one from him. So it seems to be you want to be getting into the 26s for a decent lap, into the low 26s. Yeah. So Az's 28.3 isn't as impressive as we may have thought.
And it looks, just on board with Ronan here, to have stopped raining. So I can see they're saying now 5 minutes to about 37% of rain. So we should be getting closer and closer now to dry tyres. And who'll be the force to take advantage of those conditions, we'll see.
It's always difficult when it comes from wet weather to dry weather in qualifying. There we go, a 25.7. So of course with the rain stopping, the track is going to get drier and these tyres are going to get quicker until the softs are quicker than them. So we'll find out soon enough when the lads are going to go into the soft. I'd say lads will think about it around about now. Wouldn't be going out on a new set of inters.
What's a little bit scary is we've already hit kind of my dry pace, so these lads still on intermediate tyres are doing very well to pump in some good lap times. And we should mention that just carrying into this season, Ryan Curran does have a qualifying ban, so Mr. 105 AI will let him rest for now, but we'll make sure to give him plenty of abuse during the race.
Of course, yeah. And I'm still hoping for a Ryan Curran podium, and said it off camera, but I'm okay to say it on camera now. If he does get a podium, I will reduce the amount of safety cars needed by 5 for the by 5 to 5.
No, we're taking your first one. We're taking your first one.
Absolutely not.
Deal.
Jesus Christ.
We all heard it. The beauty of live audio. It's permanently now on YouTube. You can't go back in it. So we have a few drivers still to post the time. Wheelo's still to put one on the board along with Bart the 4, and interestingly Griffin, who I think if he can get his traction control issues sorted will be very competitive as well this year. Very quick driver.
25.5 for King Papa. So a decent one there, but you want to start thinking about getting onto the soft tyres.
Yeah, we don't look to be far from that crossover now.
No, so has he bumped it up to 106 AI yet? Oof, that's a good question, Owen. That is a very good question. No, probably not. You'd want to reduce it a little bit and probably finish a race.
Well, it's the need for flashbacks he needs to get off first. Forget about the AI difficulty, but we won't go there. We said we leave him alone for this session, and we will. So I see Wheelo on another outlap, and Griffin and Bart the 4 are both currently on hot laps.
Ooh, and Ronan having a little bit of wheel touching there with the Alfa Romeo. Which one was that? That was the Gunner. So side by side through turn 1 already. And DK Phone, look at that. DK Phone with the exact same time as the current pole sitter King Papa. So Mrs. Phone, once again, she's happy that LOI is back, and she's happy that DK is back up there. And ooh, yeah, there we go. The times are starting to come in now. Boards with a 25.2 and a 25.1 once again for King Papa. 5 lap old inters for King Papa.
Of course, DK Phone dropped in behind Papa there at the same time, because when that happens, force privilege, as we saw on the real F1 in Baku at the weekend, goes to whoever sets that time first. Yeah. So, interestingly enough, but we imagine a lot of these times now will be negated by the soft runs when we get to them, which should be very shortly. We're currently at 45% track dampness, so we're getting there quite quickly.
Had a spin there. Very easy to spin there, and he's... I don't know what he's doing, to be honest, but there we go. Anyway, Sanko also on a lap, but I think that the track is still looking very wet. Rory Drain is thinking out loud about going on the softs. He hasn't fitted in the pits, so I'm sure everybody in the pits at the moment will be having a look at the
Ratting
pace
them out.
difference.
Inside our pit knowledge. But we have Flemmo going to the top of the leaderboards now with a 24.5. Another driver we know has massive pace, but has certainly underachieved in this tier over the last few seasons, and is reserving tonight. But good to see him up there, and maybe with the less pressure of reserving only, he'll get a good result, who knows. As Griffin invalidates. So everyone now except Wheelo with a time on the board. I'm sure Bartafor and Blue Gunner have an awful lot more time in those, but as I said, a lot of this will be immaterial once we get into dry conditions.
And here we go now, we have Rory Drain on an out lap on the softs, so this will be interesting to see what he can do with those.
Yeah, Rory's setting himself up now to hopefully have a good run at this. There's 6 minutes left, so not a huge amount of time to get in and do a second run. But he has carried a little extra fuel on board, so maybe he's going to go for a cool down lap in between.
It's interesting now to see the track is starting to dry up. You can still see a few wet patches on it though, so
yeah,
whether he's picked the right time or not, we will see.
Yeah, Rian, I know your pain. It is a tough L track to keep it pointing in the right direction, so fair play to the lads in these conditions. We've not lost nobody yet. And Ronan now going to the top of the timing. So 23.9. Those times continue to tumble, and we're going to see more of this now in the last few minutes. 5 minutes and 15 seconds to go.
So Rory Drain starting his lap now. This will be the quickest lap of the session, no doubt.
Yeah. Let's see where the grip is at, but it looks very good from so far. Track obviously looks quite dark, but he seems to have good grip out there.
Yeah, seems to have dried up pretty much completely. Big lift through that left-hander, but I think you need it anyway. Quite a slippy part of the track.
So a 23.2 in Sector 1 for Rory, just crossed the timing line there. So that's 2 seconds quicker than what a lot of the guys are doing so far. So, and DRS enabled, which is always a good indicator that it's time for softs. So Rory's on the track now with a nice time. And looking very smooth through Sector 2. Again, able to take now that corner with full throttle. A little bit too much sausage curb there, but he's okay. So coming into the final corner for Rory. Gets the power down nicely, he's on full throttle early. What will he post as the new standards? Very tidy. This is going to be quick. 20.7.
It's quite close to the Inters.
Yeah, 3 seconds. We're just past the crossover, but those times will continue to come down as conditions improve. Rory does have 1.7 of fuel left, so he may cool down for a lap and then go at it again.
And here's King Papa now, coming around the last few corners. He is also on the softs, and oh no, he's going to start his lap.
Yeah.
So I think lads are going to try and time it perfectly with the end of the session. It is indeed. We're going to have a lot of times coming in towards the end of the session. I think Rory Drain might be able to sneak in another lap towards the end. He gets to the pits as fast as he can.
Yeah, he'll do well. I think he's actually continuing to push, so yeah, he's 1.3 up. Even with a depleted battery, so it tells you how much the track is ramping up here.
Yeah, exactly.
So what will Rory do? Asking a lot to get back out.
Oh, and King Papa's invalidated.
So Rory Drain boxes with 2:30 on the clock. He will do well to get back around.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna.
No.
He might.
He might.
It's going to be very close if he is able to. We can see a lot of people coming out of the pits now.
Yeah, 7 out laps underway and a couple of drivers are in the middle of hot laps too. LOI Wheelo has invalidated. Sudi now starts an out lap, so another driver heading out there. And realistically, you want to be looking to get released by your mechanics anytime now, or you're going to find it tough to make it around. So this will all be about who gets the best of the conditions. Can you cross the line to start that lap as close to the 0 marker as possible?
Exactly.
It's only going to continue to dry out, it's only going to continue to rubber in.
You can imagine the last person to cross that line is going to be the quickest lap, so he's going to be able to time that perfectly.
Yeah. So lots of drivers on hot laps now. Brontosaurus here, coming around to start his lap as well.
So Rory Drain, I think he has managed to get out in time. He's right behind his teammate. So I think he may be okay to start another lap. It might be close, but he might be the driver to get the fastest lap because he's going to be last across the line. Yeah. If he is, so let's see with DK now. I think he's going to be one of the first to cross the line to finish his lap with over 30 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah.
So here we go, DK. It is going to be provisional pole, I can imagine. 19.1 for King Papa. And here we have DK
benchmark
through the last corner and across the line. What's he going to do for himself here? It's not going to be provisional pole.
Wow.
19.6, so a good way off of King Papa there.
And we've Daz now. Daz with a 19.5, so doesn't make it either. Kay Flemo with an 18.7. Wow.
Very good.
That's a jump.
Kay Flemo there. It is indeed. Rory Drain. Is he going to be able to... Oh, 1 second left on the clock. Rory Drain has crossed the line to start his lap. You couldn't get that any closer. Amazing from Rory Drain there. And if he invalidates, it would be very unfortunate.
Pumps in a 19.5. Yeah, we sit corrected. And Brontosaurus a 19.1. So everyone now hitting their last checkered flag runs. There's Griffin with an 18.5.
Yeah, provisional pole for Griffin. As I watched on with Rory Drain, he has actually invalidated his lap, so...
Will Sliney does a 19.7. Sudi Baby with an 18.5. Very good from Sudi. Right up there.
Here comes King Papa now. Coming across the line. He is going... this could be provisional pole for King Papa. What's it going to be? It is an 18 flat 5/10 from P2. So a great lap from King Papa. Is anybody going to be able to beat that?
As it was a 20.4. Oh, Flemo just posted one, so is he going again? He's well down on his time, so he's not going to improve, I don't think.
Unless Budge has a lot of time to gain, I don't think it's going to be him. He will be...
Looks to be about 8/10 up, so unless he had a horrid Sector 3 first time around. An 18.7, very good for Budge, P5.
And that's it, it's pole position for King Papa. For... first race of season 11, and a very good lap it was for him. Griffin P2, dropping down from tier 2 I believe, and Sudi Baby in tier 4 in P3, so very good showing from Sudi Baby indeed.
Yeah, very impressive. And Bartafor up there with an 18.7 in P4, snuck in the Merc, so another driver showing huge improvement and certainly competitive up here today.
Right, so now Blue Gunner does have his grid penalty, which isn't going to help him at all. It's going to drop him down to P15, but before we get on to the race car, why don't you bring us down the qualifying order?
Yeah, so the very first tier 3 pole of the season and very first pole of LOI season 11 goes to King Papa 95, formerly LOI Nolan, formerly King Papa, you know who he is at this stage. LOI Griffin in P2, we've Sudi Baby in P3, Bartafor in P4, reigning tier 4 champion Budge in P5, K Flemo reserving in P6, DK Phone in 7th, Ronan 8th, Daz 9th, Blue Gunner in 10th, but has the 5-place grid penalty to thank for that. Will in 11th, Irish Az in 12th, Rory Drain, Wheelo, Sanko, Carl, I am Alex, Daniel Mullen, and then Ryan Curran backing up the pack in 19th.
So it's interesting there. 4 people have intermediate laps as their final laps, so they didn't get a chance to get out in the end. So let's see if that's going to hamper them much for this race. Now, let me try and get Dave an invite now. If you can invite him there, I don't know if that's possible there for you, Kev.
Yeah, into the actual race itself, I can do. No problem. We have space at the end. Well, actually, do we? Because we have 19 drivers now. We may not, but we'll see.
Oh, yeah.
But we do have a dry race, as far as I can see. I can't see the full race outlay, but for the first 15 minutes, it looks to be dry and overcast anyways. We'll see now in a couple of seconds beyond that, as the drivers pick their setups. And we'll see what tyre strategies we have to look forward to.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. Do get your predictions into the chat. And we will have a look at tyres very soon, as this tyre choice may be able to change your prediction for today.
100%. And yeah, as Callum Bluefoot says, it's going to be a good race. And I think he's right. Generally, Tier 3 never disappoints.
Now, tyre choices, let's have a look.
Only missing the wets and the inters.
Oh my, yeah. A big array of different tyres. So from P1 to 4 we have the mediums. Then we have Budge in P5 opting for the hards. He's going to go long today, and it is Kay Flemo, the first of the soft runners in P6. We have Sweetie Baby already disqualified, which is nice to see. Ronan then, or not Ronan, we have DK going for the hards, Ronan for the mediums, Daz and the softs. We have a lot of different tyres here. Real Sliney going for the hards, Azza going for the softs, Rory Drain for the hards, then Wheelo Sanko going for the mediums. Blue Gunner, he's teasing us once again, doing this on purpose, going for the hards, not going for his favourite yellow tyres. And then from Carl down to Ryan Curran, we have the medium tyres. So lots of different strategies, lots of different tyres, and it's going to be very interesting today.
Yeah, there's a huge amount going on. I suppose, as always, safety car timing, if there is to be one, and there usually is in Tier 3, will be what dictates who's done the right thing here. But I think Owen has hit a relatively important nail on the head, that the softs are very poor around here. They melt very quickly, so it's unlikely. I certainly wouldn't have been starting on the red stripe Pirellis, but let's see how it plays out. Certainly for a last, couple of laps dash, possibly towards the end they can be useful, but I certainly don't think they're a great race tyre, but we'll see. And I suppose for the likes of Flemo, if he can use them to jump a few positions, maybe then it'll be good for him. So Dylan going for Sanko, Papa, DK. Sanko, an interesting one. P14 has a lot of work to do, but if we see the Sanko of old, no doubt that's possible.
Yeah, we haven't seen that old Sanko in a long time, so let's hope tonight the first race of season 11 is going to be a change for Sanko. We have King Papa late to the party here at the grid, and he is lined up, and we are waiting for Ryan Curran, taking his time to get onto the grid.
Yeah,
he's getting those mediums nice and warm. Whether it's legal or not, I do not know. Let's hope it is. Ryan Curran, Mr. 105, last to line up. Now here we go for the first race in season 11 of League of Ireland. The lights are blank, the cars are moving. We are a go in Portugal. It is a great start from King Papa. Griffin very slow up the line.
Awful
Cars going
past
him left, right and centre. Stewie Baby up into P2. Bartifer through the inside of turn 1. Getting overtaken by Griffin again. And we have a spinner, DK, Sanko as well in the back. And it was a very good getaway from King Papa. I think there's a bit more movement in the back here with Daz and Ronan going right past him around the outside. Up into P7 for Ronan. And Alex now having a little look at the back of Irish Azza, trying to go for a move here, not working so far.
Yeah, a lot of drivers struggling for grip early on. You see an awful lot of drivers run wide through turns 1 and 2. And the big loser in that first interchange, of course, is DK Phone. Down 12 places, right to the back of the grid.
It is indeed, yeah, he has lost out a good amount there. And K Flemo trying to make those red tyres work, trying to make the softs work early on before they die off, and they will die off very quickly. I could imagine 8 laps is the most he'd get out of them on a track like this. He has Budge, the Tier 4 champion, in his sights, and Budge is going to try and keep up with the cars ahead of him as long as he possibly can until the DRS comes on. He might be able to gain an advantage if a safety car comes out to suit him. So, 1 lap has passed. King Papa has gapped Sooty Baby by 1.2 seconds.
Here comes Flemo. He's up the inside of Budge into turn 1. He has him. Oh, Budge gives him a little tap on the back, but that's okay. Flemo parked his car nicely, and now we have Rhinosaurus having a look at the back of Budge as well, so this could get dicey very quickly. Budge has 3 drivers on quicker tyres right behind them, and that's not to mention Alex and Ryan, who have made up a massive number of places on lap 1 as well. So how will this play out?
Right, 5 people into the pits on lap 2, so that is not a great start for those lads at all. Barta4 now very close to the back of Griffin, and I'm sure he'll be wanting to make a move on him as soon as he possibly can, as he'll have K Flemo on the soft tyres right behind him soon enough.
So we should get DRS next time around, and that will start to dictate a little bit more what the shaking order is going to be. Sooty has got back into the DRS of King Papa. He was originally 1.2 behind after lap 1, so King Papa's not having it all his own way so far. Good to see Sooty stick with him.
Yep, Sooty has improved a lot since last season, and he's shown that here tonight. Very close to the back of King Papa now after being more than 1 second behind him. That would have been a warning for Sooty. You need to be careful there. And can he get an overtake done? It is a good overtaking spot here through this left-hand hairpin. He might be able to help with DRS here that he has. Is he going to make it work this time round? He needs to save that ERS and wait for the long straight to get a move done. That's Ryan Curran, impressively all the way up into P10 from last on the grid. So very good start from Ryan Curran here. And here comes Azza through the inside here, and he'll have the outside for the next corner on Daz here. Both of them on the soft tyres, so neither of them have a particular advantage on each other. Azza trying his best to get past him. Daz parking his car nicely in the way. And just about out of the DRS is Daz. So Azza looking for a move now up the inside. He needs to be a little bit more patient than that, because he does have Ryan Curran right behind him who wouldn't mind getting past him at all.
Yep, and
through the inside goes
here.
Ryan Curran here. This could be a late move for him. And
Ryan's going to have a great run now onto the main straight potentially. If he can cut this back properly, which he does, he should be able to get the throttle down a lot earlier than Azza, and he should, if his setup allows, have a great run on him here with the DRS. Ooh, he's taken all of that corner.
He has indeed.
And then some. And look at Ryan, he's already nearly level. And with the DRS, this should be straight sailing.
Yeah, both of them do have the DRS, but Ryan Curran got the better exit, got the better of Az, and is now ahead of him. So Irish Az has made an Az of himself right there. So Ryan Curran now up into P9 on the back of Daz, who will be slowing up on those soft tyres. So he'll be able to make those medium tyres work. Oh no, okay.
It's great to see Azza back on the grid. I do think that awful joke should mean we only need 4 safety cars for you to need to sing Barbie Girl, but however.
Oh, Barta4!
Barta4's gone.
He's gone.
He is around and dropped right down now to 13th. Big gap behind him still now to Rory and all of the other drivers who've stopped early on. Disaster for the likes of Rory and Blue, who started on the hard compound.
Yeah. So okay, Flemo has a lot of ground now to make up between himself and Griffin if he wants to get into the DRS, because he has Budge still close behind him, so that's impressive from Budge to be able to keep up with K Flemo, even though he is on those hards. And then he'll be able to get past him as well.
Yeah, K Flemo not getting much joy out of those softs, and he's already dropped into the 22s. Most of the lads around him lapping in the 21s. So
Ryan Curran has made his way up in the P7. Ryan having a fantastic race today. And can he get a move done? And Rhinosaurus is a great move from Ryan Curran through the inside. He'll have the outside for this next corner, and also he will have the DRS on Ronan. And this is going to be great here. Ronan has a quick car in a straight line. Ryan Curran does have the DRS through the inside. He goes trying for a switchback here is Ronan. Can he make it work? He is so far. Side by side through a corner you don't want to be so. And Ryan Curran is not going to give up that easily. Back through the inside he goes here. And they're very clean racing
and Daz
here.
Behind him just gets around a little bit, but he catches it. And he's dropped the P9 as I've taken the position off him there. They've had a ding-dong battle for a few laps now. But yeah, Ryan just needs to be patient.
Yeah, Ronan, some great defending by him and a great switchback as well. But Ryan Curran not failing to impress us today with his dive bombs in particular. And Daniel Mullen.
Well done.
He needs to change his name. I can't pronounce it properly. It's a 3-second time.
It's one of those unusual foreign names. It is tricky. And Budge now in the DRS of Flemo, and I don't think Flemo's going to be able to hold him off for too many more laps because those softs are really melting and his lap time is continuing to drop.
So Budge looking pretty quick on those hard tyres. The only man who hasn't pitted, who was running the hard tyres so far, so looking well in P5. He can't manage to get a good exit where he needs it to overtake K Flemo. And again, an interesting choice by K Flemo to opt for the softs at all. So let's see if it works out for him in the long run. Whether a safety car is going to come out. He'll need a safety car to come out now in the next few laps for those softs who have worked out.
Yeah. But, on the Warning front, we just continue to see them roll in. Who's around?
Daz and Daniel Mullen. So the two teammates, have they taken each other out, I wonder? And Ferrari, Ferrari, once again, like last season, they'll have their battles on and off track, I'm sure. So
yeah, change of team principle, but no change of result. And they're having trouble once again. But yeah, on the penalty front, we obviously have Alex with 3 seconds in 9th at the moment. We have then Daniel himself, who we just seen spin in 13th with 3, and then Wheelo picked up 5, I believe, for speeding in the pits early on.
And we have a change here for P4. Through the inside goes Budge, and Flemo is not battling that at all. He lets him go by, which is completely fair enough. But Budge now on the hard tyres in a good position for himself, up in P4. So looking well.
So we see Colin and Dylan, both of our head admins for tier 2 and 3 respectively, in the chat, giving abuse, the usual. But we do miss Irish Gary being on the grid tonight. Would have been good to see him make a return. Hopefully he'll make next week's race. And one person we really are missing as well is the main man Kachiga, who's usually is part of this grid. And it would have been good to see him face up against his old rival Budge, but not to be.
So Daniel Mullen must have picked up a bit of damage. Maybe a bit of brain damage as well. He's gone in for the softs. So interesting one from Daniel Mullen. Didn't mean to
pulling
so
no punches tonight. My goodness. Daniel, for the record, I'm sure you don't have brain damage. It might have been a glitch in this game for all we know. So on behalf of my commentary team, I'd like to apologise. Sudi though, up in P2, hanging on to the back of King Papa, and I have to say, as much as Sudi has great pace, I'm surprised King Papa hasn't been able to pull away here.
Yeah, indeed, King Papa showing some good pace, but I think Sudi Baby has just improved a lot. This must be one of his good tracks. But we'll see now if he's able to get past him. He's able to keep up with him, but whether he wants to try and get past him, I don't know. He has used all of his battery.
Yeah.
So, and King Papa has 30%, so just about double the battery of Sudi Baby.
Yeah, so the DRS trains have broken out in the main. Griffin has lost touch with Sudi, Flemo has lost touch with Budge, and Rhinosaurus has lost touch with Flemo. So we're starting to see a good bit of field spread happen organically. No safety car to report.
Just about caught a spin there. Nearly had the car go around, and he will have to go in to change those tyres, I'm sure. He is struggling massively on them.
So Colin pointing out that Sudi has underfueled, which is a fair point, Colin, but unfortunately King Papa has underfueled more, so your logic there is majorly flawed, given that his car is technically heavier. But listen, that's, you know, we do things differently in Tier 3 here. As we have Griffin just falling further back now, lap after lap, really seems to be struggling with tyre wear, and Flemo getting 5 seconds for speeding. That's really going to hurt his race.
It is indeed, but here comes Sanko now on Irish Azza. Sanko, side by side they're going. Azza isn't going to let this go easily, and Azza is going to stay ahead of him for now, but Sanko around the outside, he's going to get the DRS. He has more ERS on him as well, so he'll be able to unleash that down this straight, and there he goes. Right past him, but they're going to be side by side once again. Who's going to get the better of the other? Azza trying to go around the outside, trying to hang it around the outside. He's gone off the track, got himself a penalty. And is he going to be able to keep this position? Just squeezing him to the outside here. Through the inside for the next corner, pushing Sanko off the track. Azza
this is messy.
Is trying to his best to stay ahead of Sanko, and Sanko a little bit of wheel spin there. And Azza is just about staying ahead of Sanko for whatever reason.
And yellows in sector 2. Mercedes having a moment there. I believe it was Bartafort. It's recovered though.
Was it? Okay.
And yeah, fuel is a premium that we do not waste at Red Bull Colin. You are absolutely correct. I've started my new Fuel Fighters Club, and I will, by the end of this season, have everyone a member. As Sanko now resumes his battle on the main straight with Irish Azza, and he is going to have it done nice and early, well before the braking zone this time, and Azza's race is run on those softs, I think, and he'll be well placed to box very shortly, so he is hemorrhaging time.
So I think I can hear Sanko slightly locking up through the corner, so I think there is no assists on his end, which is quite impressive. Daz making his scheduled pit stop off of those softs. It hasn't particularly worked out for him at all. Had a little spin with his teammate.
Yes, you are correct.
Onto lap 10 now. Nothing crazy has happened.
No. Quite timid for Tier 3, you have to say.
Yeah, exactly. And for a track like this as well, I think everyone is keeping it as tidy as they possibly can. This is usually where someone would spin, and it hasn't happened. So.
No, we're not jinxing anybody so far. But yeah, just on board the Sanko, definitely running no ABS, which is very impressive. Driving very nicely and smoothly through sector 2 and 3 without it. And of the top 10 drivers at the moment, the quickest man on track at the moment, up until this lap around, was Griffin, who was starting to eat into that gap, but that's kind of just stabilised over the last lap. So be interesting to see how this all plays out with all those medium runners seeing different levels of wear, as Azza makes a very poor mistake in getting himself 5 seconds, and that's the third 5 we've seen so far. Sanko gets a time penalty. Yeah, they're starting to roll in.
Sui has gotten quite close to the back of King Papa here, 6 tenths, or around 6 tenths, 5 tenths down the back straight. So he seems to be speeding up a little bit, and can he go for an overtake on him? Can he try and get as close as he can to him and save up a bit of that battery that he seems to like using?
And we have to give a big shout out. He's always there in the chat with us, and he's back for another season. He loves it. It's Serious Mushroom. Good evening, Mushroom.
Wouldn't be an LOI race without you.
Certainly not. I wonder who Mushroom's predicting for the title. He mentions Budge. I wonder is he his championship tip from this crew. And speaking of Budge, driving very nicely and steadily in P4 at the moment. Yeah. And obviously on those hard tyres will be going an awful long way. So the soft runners are going to go soft hard. You can see Flemo has put on the hards only in the last couple of laps there. He will bring those to the end. But Azza went to mediums, which he's going to have to two-stop.
Yeah, it'll be another medium stop for Azza, unless he wants to go to the soft again. Wouldn't be hugely recommended. But again, yeah, Sudi Baby just keeping steadily behind King Papa, and I don't think there's anybody within a second of anybody on the track today. So. Except for Sooty Baby, so yeah, quite a tame race.
So far, it's almost like we need a spin or an incident to get this shook up a little bit. And speaking of spins and incidents, I can see Big Funny Guy asking, can he speak yet in the YouTube? Have we got a funny guy with us to get some insight into this race? Into this horrid track, to be honest? I'm not sure we do.
I don't think we do have a funny guy. He's raring to go. Oh,
I'm right here. What's on?
we do have a funny guy, so Dave. What do you think of the race so far? Obviously, you were late for qualifying, but I'm sure you were watching on.
Yes.
What do you think so far? Is it as expected? Did you think that anybody else would be faster or slower than they are?
I'm loving City right now.
Yeah, he's right.
He's doing so well. Budge, he needs to close that gap. He can do a lot better than what he's doing right now. I know he's on the hard tires and stuff. Ryan Curran, seen at the start, he had a bit of an incident with Ronan. Don't think he's caught that. Had a wee bump in the back.
Right, yeah.
So there could be a lot of people that could be further on up. But first race of the season, you can see the potential in the people.
Exactly, yeah, and we've seen a huge improvement in Sooty Baby. Indeed.
Okay, Flannel definitely should be up there. Babbling 100%.
A man that you've explicitly challenged to many 1v1s, I believe, Dave, over the years.
Well,
he's running a mile from them all.
Yes, I know he I don't want to swear it on, but he appreciated him.
And Dave, if you had to pick someone from this current grid that you think might win the title, who do you think could be the champion at the end of our 10 race season?
Oh Jesus. Rory Drain's always a good shout from consistency.
Yeah.
I think.
Go.
I wouldn't rule out Clay Flammo, Ronosaurus, Sanko, or King Papa.
Okay.
And I think Budge could be at a bit of a shout in that. I'd say it's very tight. This is a very tight deal.
For sure. Thank you, Dave. As we see Alex and Ryan and Bartha just all coming into the pits there.
Right, thank you, Dave. We'll make sure to get back to you. I'm sure we're not going to see much action in this race, but when we do, we'll get back to you.
I'm happy enough drinking my buck fast and sitting here watching.
Of course.
Wouldn't have it any other way.
Exactly.
Thanks, Dave. What our major drinks are available.
Yeah. So Griffin has managed to catch up to Sooty Baby. And Sooty seems to be struggling a little bit. A lot of understeer, especially hairpin in sector 2. Daniel Mullen got himself a penalty as well. So Griffin will be having a little look at the back of Sooty here. You can see he's derating, and Keaton Papa into the pits he goes.
Here we go.
Going for an undercut here, so this is going to be interesting. Sooty Baby and Griffin need to get a good in lap if they're going to go in this lap. So in terms of track position, you want to be trying to pit later than the lad ahead of you or behind you.
And Sanko gets 5, another one with a pit lane speeding penalty, so that's going to hit his race hard.
Let's see if this undercut is going to work, because Sooty Baby is going quite slow, it seems, and Griffin is going to be stuck behind him a little bit as well, so being in the clear air might be a big advantage for King Papa, as he has 18 seconds ahead of him and 7 behind him, so perfect scenario for King Papa.
Spot. Yeah, he's in lovely clean air, and I wonder what Griffin and Sooty will do now this time around. I think Griffin might do whatever Sooty doesn't, because he can certainly jump him on pace. He just needs to get out of his dirty air.
That's Azza. Azza has spun himself round, so not a great race for Azza tonight at all. So let's see what's going to happen between Sooty Baby and Griffin. Griffin very close to the back of him, but will they go into the pits here? And they both are into the pits. And Griffin.
Any speeding pens?
Nope.
Nope.
He gets close to the back
very well.
Here. So let's see.
Alex gets 3.
Let's have a look at King Papa. driving a perfect race so far today. Let's see if he's going to be able to make those tyres work and get ahead of these lads coming out of the pits. Sudi now coming out with Griffin behind him.
Sudi looked to have the quicker stop there. Looks to have gained a little.
Yeah, and looks like they're both going to be ahead of him, but they will have very slow tyres. This is the problem with an overcut. You might be ahead of him on track, but you're going to have slow tyres. He needs to go for a dive through the inside here as he does. A slight one, and this might kill King Papa's race, and it might allow Sooty Baby to actually win it. So, King Papa with the DRS and the ERS activated through the inside on Griffin. This will be able to work. He'll have cold tyres, will Griffin, and he needs to get as close as he can to Sooty Baby as soon as he can while he still has those cold tyres, or else track position will not work in his favour, because as we've seen, quite hard to overtake here if you have similar pace.
Yeah, and what killed Griffin there was he just fell out at Sudi's DRS at the activation point. He was 1.1 behind, and that meant he had nothing to defend with on that short back straight. As Irish Hazza gets another time penalty for corner cutting.
Yeah, I think he's actually spun. I think that's what's gotten the penalty. And Wheelo down nicely, probably last for the penalty. And here comes King Papa now. This is going to be the best opportunity for King Papa to get past Sooty. Will he be able to make this happen? He does have a lot more ERS. Oh, he doesn't even have that much ERS than him. He isn't going to use any of his ERS. DRS is going to do it for him. Going to be alongside him. Through turn one, through the inside. They're both going to try and hold their positions. Sooty Baby off the track slightly. Lets him go past. And King Papa back up into a net lead. Oh, and through the inside, Griffin tries it. And he is going to try and make it again around the outside of Sooty Baby.
Oh, what a move.
What an overtake that was. Sooty has been overtaken by Griffin. Now into a net P3 for Sooty.
Griffin looking very quick at this stage of the race. He was looking very quick towards the middle and end, I suppose, of the first stint. And he's now brought that into the start of this hard tyre stint. Just a curious one, which was with Irish Hazza. He spun and then couldn't seem to get going again. It was like he was stuck in reverse gears, so he ended up getting disqualified for being parked in a dangerous location. Thankfully it hasn't generated a safety car.
Might be beached on a curb, I don't know.
His controller died apparently, so that explains it. Yeah, the less we say about that the better.
I think so. Here comes Griffin now on the back of King Papa. Griffin has been looking mighty quick compared to Sooty. Anyway, whoa, a snap of oversteer there for Griffin. Can this allow Sooty to get a good run on him here? I don't think he's close enough to be overtaken, and he has good straight line speed as well. Great straight line speed by Griffin.
Griffin's going to have a look at Papa here into turn one.
He is.
Papa goes defensive. This is going to be tight. I think he might undercut him through the corner.
Back here.
Yeah.
And through the inside, is he going to go for it? Goes defensive, goes Papa. That's
he'll
an interesting one by him.
Nicely here onto the DRS straight.
Yeah, Papa won't get a good
exit
exit
in
here.
Trouble.
Very deep through the left-hander. Here we go with the DRS of Griffin. He's going to have to send it through the inside. Goes defensive King Papa. Around the outside goes Griffin. Goes for a switch back here. It's very nice. A little bit of contact between the two. Both of them very even coming out of this corner. And through the inside, King Papa has to defend. And that is that. King Papa is going to be able to defend against Griffin. And I think Griffin may have used all of his ERS he has in that attack, and that will not help him out at all. King Papa has pretty much used nothing to defend there, so that was a good outcome for him.
What a great demonstration in defensive driving from Papa. He placed his car in all the right positions there to cover off on the switchbacks, to cover off on the inside lines, and he done really well despite not having DRS to keep him behind. And Griffin now will have another go, surely down to turn one.
Yeah, he's going to use his ERS, which he doesn't actually have. Sooty Baby very close to the back from here, and yeah, he doesn't have a quick car in a straight line at all.
No, and now he's full on derating, so that's not good.
0% for Griffin. That may allow Sooty to go past him. The advantage of ERS is huge, especially on a track like this. Over the curb goes King Papa. That mightn't help him out in the best way. He is going to be able to stay ahead of him just for now.
And if I were Sooty, I would just sit there now and let my ERS build and go on an attack towards the end of this race, because he can just get dragged along from the two lads and see how this plays out.
They'll continue to fight. And Sooty Baby's best bet is to just stick behind him, wait until he gets a good amount of ERS and then go for it.
Blue Gunner's gone in for a new fresh set of mediums. The things he likes. Oh yeah. New season, same old blue.
And it's a yellow flag.
Oh, speaking of Blue Gunner.
Oh, it's
He's had a severe collision with Daz. And yeah, Daz just recovering onto the track there through the exit of 2 and 3, so maybe into turn 1 they had contact.
Yeah, so right,
Budge now on the pits.
Yeah, into the pits goes Budge, so it'll be interesting to see how far behind the lads he's going to be, because he will have a great advantage on those mediums.
And it's not going to be far.
He might just be behind that little train there.
Yeah.
And he is. He's going to just be behind K Flemo. So, not a bad position for him to be in at all.
And there's a collector's item. Rory Drain unboxing gets himself a 5-second speeding pen, and you don't see that too often. Mistake from the Drainer. Ryan Curran now on the back of Budge. Budge obviously on those cold mediums, but they won't take too long to come in.
Budge leaving him just enough room. And using those mediums, they're starting to warm up. Ryan Curran needs to try and get a move done now if he wants it. Around the outside goes Ryan Curran, tags him a little bit, but he is going to be able to stay ahead just for now.
That was very fair from Budge. He left him an awful lot of room. And hopefully no damage sustained. I think the front wing of Budge just had a little bit of contact with the body of Ryan. Not Budge's fault, of course, but hopefully he hasn't sustained any damage. Once he gets those mediums up to temperature, you think he'll come back at Ryan here.
Yeah, I don't think this will do much to Budge. I think it will just lose him a little bit of time. He could be able to get by him with the advantage of the medium tyres compared to the hards. Comes down to the main straight. Close enough behind Ryan Curran to get a move done on him.
Yeah, so and we shouldn't forget Flemo here, only 1.7 behind Sudi and the top 3, so well in contention here really all the way down as far as Budge. And we've Rhinosaurus yet to come into this party, which you imagine he will once he comes off of those mediums. Hopefully he doesn't take himself too long, because he's well in this race at the moment.
And Budge trying everything to get past Ryan Curran. He hasn't used any of his ERS, he's saving it. Very good exit out of that corner there for Budge. He's right onto the back of Ryan Curran. Give him a little love tap for extra measure, and here we go. Budge through the inside of Ryan Curran. Ryan is going to try and fight it once again. Will it be a switchback? He doesn't have enough traction for it. Budge up into P6, 3 seconds behind K Flemo.
Yeah, and unfortunately Daz has had another spin in the Ferrari, so in 18th and last, and unfortunately still struggling. But I remember this happened to Daz before. He started the season slowly and then came good, so hopefully he's on that same trajectory. So the top 3 remains static. Flemo takes another couple of tenths out of their advantage though, so that's starting to close up. And with Budge now in free air, what will his relative pace be?
Yeah, Budge in that lap, he hasn't caught anything to K Flemo. Being a static around 3.2. He's starting to gain it now. He must have a low wing setup. So we'll see now in the next few laps, in the next 11 laps, whether he's going to be able to catch K Flemo and possibly go for a podium.
Yeah, Roland's gone around again, so Roland must be looking at this stage, either he's sandbagging for a safety car, or more likely he's thinking of worst case scenario jumping onto the softs. There's no value in him putting on the hards at this stage.
No, absolutely not. I think he's going to stay out for the softs and hope and pray for a safety car, which I would have thought would come out by now. Although it is a wide enough track, it's quite a spinny one, so it is easy to spin and easy to collect a wall as well along, through this corner actually that Griffin's going through.
And that's
the most dangerous ones.
Consideration we haven't really talked about yet is fuel. So Ronan out front is carrying a slight surplus, but Papa is nearly half a lap short at the moment, and we've a third of a lap short for Griffin, and this is a hard track to recover fuel on, and even worse for Sudi, who's nearly a lap down. So burning it quite heavily is Sudi, and this may be a problem as the race develops.
Oh, and here goes Ronan into the pits. What's he going to go for here? Softs will make it to the end, but they will struggle. What's he going to go for?
So the first two drivers who are comfortable on fuel is Flemo and Budge. So Ronan goes for softs. He's going to try to do 10 laps on those, which is a big ask, but is doable. Ryan Curran's comfortable on field, so very interesting now to see how this plays out.
So yeah, Budge has gained a good bit on K Flemo, and making those tyres work. He's caught up around half a second in that lap.
Yeah, last lap around, all of the top 4 pretty much in the 21.4s, 21.5s, give or take, and then you have Budge with a 21 flat, so just slowly eking that advantage, but you have to remember the top 3 have the advantage of DRS, at least Griffin and Sudi do, so once Budge gets into Flemos, that'll be worth another few tenths a lap to him as well.
Indeed, so Griffin, Sudi and King Papa all in a little train together. K Flemo isn't quite able to catch up to them, of course he's on those much older tyres than them. And he has Budge to be worrying about behind him, so he doesn't want to be using any of his ERS to defend against Budge.
Yeah.
He's burning his own.
Oh, and yellow one.
Yeah.
Is that an Alfa Romeo? It is. It's blue, I think.
Gunner.
It is blue Gunner.
Is that a safety car? It's a full safety car. Ooh,
Wow.
that has spiced things up massively. So into the pits, number 1, 2, 3 and 4. Budge is going to stay out, so let's see how this is going to happen now towards the end of the race. This has spiced things up massively, as Ronan now, who has just pitted, it has a great advantage, so that has worked massively for Ronan.
Yeah, so it'll help Ronan extend the life of those tyres, although his time penalty will certainly hurt him. And then, of course, we have the issue of fuel now being resolved for the lads. If quick switch into lean and a couple of laps, it'll absolutely get them to the end. But yeah, this is now all to play for and brings a whole host of drivers back into the running.
Does indeed. So I think now is a better time than ever to go to our analyst, big funny guy. So Dave, I'll ask you, having a look at everybody now out on the field, whose shoes would you rather be in out of all the drivers?
Honestly, I was a couple of toenails, but I think
Thanks, Dave.
Thanks for that.
More in-depth analysis from Dave next week.
no, but his boys got their underfueled, so that's going to catch up with them, help them out.
Yeah.
But do you think softs will go to the end on this track?
Yeah, the softs will make it to the end. No problem now with the safety car as well.
It's a slightly track.
Yeah.
And you run the lap 25, maybe safety car going in. I would say the boys in the medios would have more advantage in the last 2 laps.
Possibly, yeah. So you're saying you'd rather be in Budge's shoes at the moment?
Yeah, 100%. It's hard to say. And the first couple of laps here, the softs are going to grip up and slingshot you. Sango might as well bury himself. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, Sanko
he
is
should have put it. Penalty, them lap old hards. But I think the boys that have just pitted, rather be mediums or softs, they'll be a good battle. Personally, I want to see K Flamo up there. He deserves it.
Your nemesis.
Well, he's not my nemesis, but you know, he's a good racer. He's
just a hater.
Yeah, that's true. Shitty really up from tier 4. He might do the business. If he gets the podium, I'll sing a ball about fast boys, right?
Hey.
But hey, Budge is very good defensive. It could go well for him, like.
Yeah, and do you have any predictions now? Now we only have a few laps left, and it might be a little bit easier than the start of the race. But who do you think might come out on top?
I think King Pop will take him. King Pop will go up there. Griffin will follow, and I think. I think Budge might hold off Ryan Kern or K Flemo. I think Budge might get third.
Okay, interesting. Any thoughts from yourself, Cav, while we're on the topic?
I definitely think Papa is going to whiz by. It's all about can they get past Sanko. Obviously, Ronan I would have bet for the win, except for Ronan having that 3 seconds. I don't think he has the pace to gap the field.
No.
But I think it's going to be Papa. I think Griffin will be close behind. And then I'm going to say Ryan Curran to get past Sudi. I think those mediums, they just won't come good early enough. I think if we had another couple of laps on the board, maybe, but with the safety car staying out now for another one, I think you're going to see the softs come to life as the best tyre to be on. So I'd say Papa, Griffin and then Ryan.
So I'm going to go another approach.
Okay.
I'm going to say Budge is going to stay where he is.
Okay.
He's going to take it away. He's going to build enough of a gap to hold off King Papa.
Right.
Then we're going to get King Papa after. And then we're going to have Griffin then in P3. So it's going to be Budge, King Papa and Griffin.
Okay, well, we're probably all wrong, so let's see how it plays out.
Be Carl, Daniel Mullen and fucking Wheelo on the podium for all we know. But yeah,
I suppose they sell different drugs there in stores anyway, don't they?
You what? Didn't even hear what you said, but always worth having a funny guy input.
A couple of people on the channel will hear what I've said.
Just giving you a stick over your €2 microphone. For the fact that you sound like you're on the toilet, Dave. I'm not sure which comment I like best, but yeah. And we have safety car in this lap, so we are going to get a good few laps of racing still, which is great to see.
Yeah, but thanks for your input, Dave. As much as I could not understand what you said, we appreciate it. We'll get back to you towards the end of the race.
I'll email you later.
Thanks, Dave.
Thanks. I'll send you my
We'll
email.
have more from Dave and his translator hopefully later on in the race.
Thanks, Kath. Thank you.
You're welcome. So yeah,
Right,
Budge
so
now
Budge
leading this restart, backing up the pack, and what will Budge decide to do here? He needs to hold that position through turn 1.
He does indeed. So Budge is he's going very slow. He's backing them up a lot. Safety car is into the pit so he can go whenever he wants. And Ronan, yeah, he's not weaving at all. He is watching him, not watching him enough though. Budge is away.
Yeah,
Ronan
it's a
has
good
not
restart.
gotten a good restart at all. But Budge has gotten a great one, nearly 1 second up the road already.
And Griffin's on the side of Papa here. He just has to be careful not to cross him before the start-finish line, which he didn't. And he's going to have all the line now to take through turn 1. Papa's going to have to pull out of this. Oh, this is tight.
Ripping off the track there.
Yeah, luckily for Papa.
Going around the outside here goes Griffin. He's going to try and come back at him here.
Yeah, he'll have inside
Through the
line
inside,
now.
there's going to be contact here.
Oh,
Someone's
we've-
round and two
Yeah.
people round in the same place.
That's Sanko, and we've lost
Griffin.
as well. Yeah, that's unfortunate. After such a good race for Griffin.
Yeah, that is very unfortunate indeed. And I think Usu Baby has lost it completely as well. Didn't even realise that.
What are you? Jesus.
So as it is, Budge has the lead. Ronan just behind him. Of course, he does have that penalty. King Papa in the net P2 and Ryan Curran is on the podium.
Yeah, so
The one time I didn't predict him to be at the podium, he's on it.
Well, we still have 6 laps to go. Let's see. Long way yet.
A lot of laps without flashbacks, so let's see if he can make it.
But Alex now on the back of Flemo as well, so DRS will be re-enabled shortly, and we'll see who can make a move. But this field's already starting to spread.
It is,
This has been good for Rory Drain's championship. He's recovered to P7 and currently having a look at Alex here.
He doesn't have the benefit of DRS, so it's going to be a little bit tricky to get by him here.
Yeah, and Rory very tentative through turn 1.
He's taking it easy indeed.
He obviously doesn't have to pass Alex. He can let the time penalty do that for him. Alex having 14 seconds to his name. So he'll win this race.
Gaps are starting to form again. A lot of gaps are starting to form. Ronan just about keeping within that 1 second range of Budge, and King Papa just about doing the same with Ronan. So interesting here. King Papa doesn't have the pace that he had on the mediums and the softs now.
Look at Budge's straight line speed then. is immense.
Yeah, Budge, as we saw earlier, with great straight line speed indeed.
Unbelievable.
And we've an alpha around, that's Sanko. Sanko's day goes from bad to worse, and he recovers at least. But no points today for Sanko by the looks of it.
Indeed. I think it's him gone around again with a yellow flag. Just recovered. So DRS is enabled. Flemo will not have the DRS on Ryan Curran, or if he stays as he is, he won't. Ronan, quite close to the back of Budge now, and King Papa the same with Ronan.
Detection point here between 3 and 4. Ronan just gone across it, so he won't have enough of a run at Budge though.
No, he won't. Budge, once again, as it was last season, a lot of luck, and a lot of luck has come into play today, so he is in the right place at the right time. It is shown here today in Tier 3, coming up from Tier 4 as the champion. So will he be able to get 2 championships consecutively in different tiers, which is something we haven't seen in League of Ireland before. I know it's only early doors, but something to think about for Budge.
Sure, Espartafor picks himself up 3 seconds as he's having a look here at Alex, but he's looking at the scenic route. So the top 4 now, all in a DRS train, and who can come out the victor? Ronan obviously is the one here out of place in terms of his 3-second penalty, but that's not to say the other lads may be carrying warnings.
King Papa now close to the back of Ronan here, but Ronan seems to be burned as ERS he is. He's trying to make a move here on Budge. Budge derating at the moment, so very close to the back of him. Unfortunately,
Budge
spun
gets out of
round.
shape, and Ronan had to get off the power,
Through the
and that's
inside
allowed
goes Papa
King Papa
there.
through, yep.
Ronan is going to try and fight as much as he can. Ronan through the inside now. He won't get a good exit out of this corner. And Wheelo out of the race completely here. Can that be a safety car? Oh no!
Oh, it is. It is. It's a full safety car.
And that has... Oh no, that has not helped King Papa in the slightest.
Yeah, that's a spanner in the works. And Ronan just starting to come under pressure there.
Yeah, that's a Budge. Jesus, he just about caught the car. And Ronan, great reactions to get onto the brake as soon as he possibly could.
Yeah.
And King Papa nearly making that move work, but Ronan, great defensive moves.
It's unfortunate for King Papa the way that played out, because he had a great run on the 2 lads but just couldn't capitalise, and Ronosaurus as well having to get out of the throttle behind Budge. Just a huge snap off the exit 1 for Budge, nearly causing trouble for everybody. But we get to do it all again.
Indeed, I'd imagine the safety car would be in the end of lap 31. Won't keep us waiting any longer than that. I think at this late stage in the race, I don't think it stays out for a full rotation as it usually does.
Hopefully not.
Most likely will be in lap 31. Hopefully we will.
Well, it took us 20 plus laps to get one. We've now had a few, so just shows you the way races can go as people get more desperate and the concentration starts to lapse. But Alex taking the opportunity here to get rid of some of those 14 seconds. Probably the wise decision, in fairness. He's carrying a lot of them.
Suti got a speed and penalty in the pit lane, so not going to help him at all. Now let's hope Budge doesn't hit the back of the safety car, as I have done once before.
Not to be advised.
No, yeah, from experience I would not recommend hitting the back of the safety car.
And it is good to see a Red Bull man in P1, Josh. You'd have to say, as a Red Bull man yourself.
No, I can't actually. So no bias at all on my end. I don't know about yourself, Ken.
All the boys. We love Red Bull.
Speak for yourself.
An elite group. I wasn't getting that at there at all, Dave. Did Christian not give you the call this season, though?
Foul lion. No.
It's alright. I hear Zach Brown's lovely to work for, and I hear Rando's a whopper teammate, so you're well set up there at McLaren.
Zach's gonna headbutt him.
As the safety car announces it's coming in this lap, so we're actually going to get racing very quickly.
Yeah,
sure.
We'll leave you to headbutt something, Dave, when we get. We'll make sure to get back to you as the race ends. But here we go. The start of lap 32. Budge is revving it up in neutral, making sure the fans are ready to go. And we will be going once again for 2 laps.
He's doing a few drops to neutral, our Budge. As Sudi gets a 5-second penalty for a collision with Alex. That's not going to help him.
So here we go. Once again, goes for another rev in neutral. And
slow neutral restart. Incredibly slow, but he walked out last time. He got Ronan happen.
So let's see now if Ronan's going to be able to get a better restart than he did last time round. King Papa will be hoping so anyway. So
there he goes. And Ronan has a snap and he has to get off the throttle, and that leaves a gap now for Budge again.
King Papa's gotten a bad one as well, so this can allow Ryan Curran around the outside here. And Ryan Curran has a very quick car in a straight line. Will he be able to get alongside him here for turn 1? He is going to brake later than him. Both of them going off the track here. So not allowed by King Papa to do that, but here we go. Ryan Curran
up the inside here. He's on bar to 4 at the moment.
Ryan Curran
and he gets him
back at King Papa. Can he will go for a dive here. We know Ryan Curran through the inside he goes on King Papa. Papa's going to try and hold it around the outside. Through the inside goes Ryan Curran, but no, doesn't have the traction for it. He tried it. It's a valiant effort, but he is going to stay behind for now.
It's good racing from the two lads, and most significantly Budge holding his advantage out front at the moment. He's only one more lap to go.
That's the yellow flag. It's a McLaren. Will Sliney. He has gone round.
And Will appears to be beached, I think, is he? Yep. And he was. He's flat out in the throttle there for a while and nothing happening, so that's okay. He needed to reset. That's absolutely fine.
You're allowed to reset if that happens. Okay.
I believe so, within certain parameters. So last lap now, as Budge leads us around. Lap 33 of 33. Can you see one more lap? It'd be a great start for the Tier 4 World Champion in Tier 3.
Would indeed. Here comes Ryan Curran, close to the back of King Papa. This is going to be the second last overtaking opportunity coming into the last here on the next straight. Budge looks to be comfortable enough up in first place at the moment. Ryan Curran trying his best to get past King Papa for a net P2. He gets a great exit here. Uses all of his ERS that he has left. King Papa's going to be derating soon. Not close enough for a dive. He's going to try it anyway around the outside now for a switch back.
Yeah.
And he is going to be staying behind him unless King Papa makes a mistake. But a good effort from Ryan Curran nonetheless.
Yeah, Ryan driving well. Having a look at every opportunity, but it's tough to overtake around here, as we know. And Ryan has to be careful because Rory Drain is right on the back of him as well.
Yeah, he is indeed. So no mistakes from Ryan here for the next few corners. And Budge taking it easy around the last few corners. He has had a great season last season in Tier 4. Coming up into Tier 3, looking to do it all again. It's the first race of Season 11 and the first race win for Budge in Tier 3. He is victorious in Portugal. King Papa in second, and might I say congratulations to Ryan Curran, his first podium in Tier 3 of this season and of ever, I believe. So fantastic from Ryan Curran, and now my quota is down to 5 for safety car, so that is great.
And we have Monaco on the calendar, let us not forget. Rory Drain with a great return to P4. Superb recovery after a tough initial period. And Flemmo reserving tonight in P5. Really good.
Bad one from Flemmo at all. But driver today, from last place to third. The one day I don't predict him to get a podium, he gets it, of course. And it's a great drive from Ryan Curran, absolutely flawless. Nothing you can say.
No.
He just drove a great one.
Did indeed. Some of us had faith. Some of us did not.
Right, so why don't you bring us down to finish in order, Cav?
So, our Tier 4 champions starting off the Tier 3 season in style. Budge in P1 in the Red Bull, King Papa in P2, and Ryan Curran finally breaking that duck. He comes from 19th on the grid to P3. Rory Drain recovers to P4 in the sister Red Bull. We've K Flemmo in P5, Ronasaurus in P6 after his time penalty hurt him. Carl in P7 recovering well and avoiding the internet issues for once. Blue Gunner in P8. We've Griffin recovering after a late spin to P9 and taking fastest lap, so an extra point for him. and Barta 4 crossing the line in P10. Sanko finishing 11th after a late spin. Alex 12th, he got rid of some of those penalties but not all of them. DK Phone will be disappointed, it's early in Australia and P13 wasn't what he woke up for. Will Sliney in 14th. Daniel Mullen with his brain damage in P15. His Daz in P16. 17th, 18th and 19th. Sudi, Wheelo, Irish Azza, and we lost them all a few laps from the end.
So, an interesting one to say the least. We will not have King Papa in for an interview. He is way past his bedtime, he has just told me. So he is not going to be with us today, unfortunately. But it's a good result from him anyway today. Unfortunate that safety car came out at the time it came out for him. But it's a good result for him anyway. But we'll get the rest of the lads in hopefully. Budge and Ryan Curran. I think we'll leave it at the two because I also do want to go to bed at some point tonight.
Fair enough. So Budge, and we are looking for Papa.
Ryan Curran.
Oh, Ryan Curran, of course. Papa's not joining us.
How could you forget?
Just heartbroken. It's hard to keep track of that man's name as well. He's an elusive character. I can't wait for next season when he's LOI Nolan 95 just to throw another spanner in the works.
Maybe LOI King Papa.
Could be. So Ryan and Budge. Someone might talk to us.
Maybe we just talk to ourselves again.
Well, we should, before the
usually
lads come in, we should get Dave's take on the race before we let him go. Dave's final word on what he's witnessed tonight.
We don't have the translator in, so bear with us.
True.
You want me to start speaking?
Yes, that
If
is
you wouldn't
indeed
mind,
your
Dave,
cue.
it's going to be hard for our audience to know what you thought of the race if you don't tell them.
You need to introduce me. I'm not used, man. Anyway.
Okay, this is the big funny guy. He's going to tell us what he thought of the race. There you go.
Excuse me, it's Lucifer, right?
Alright.
Get it right.
He's Lucifer when he's in bad form. He's funny guy when he's in good form. It depends.
It does depend. So, former Red Bull driver should have been still Red Bull driver. Anyway, no, I honestly, once the safety car went in and Buzz was on his tires,
Yeah.
I wanted Buzz to hold it off. I didn't think he would, but he did. And it was unbelievable. Unbelievable. King Papa had the pace all race. I thought he would have maybe got up there, but obviously didn't. That's the only take I could get off the race. That's the only thing I was looking for. Was the podium. Just the end of the race. Not safety car. Budge up there with the old tires. Then King Papa and stuff going up. I was just looking at that, going right. He's going to attack, and Buzz did really well this step there. Look,
He did indeed. Right, so thanks, Dave. We'll get on to our interviews now. I'm interviewing Ryan Curran. There's absolutely no argument about that. If he does actually join, has he joined?
He has.
He has joined. Now, Ryan Curran. You have no idea how long I have waited for this moment. There has been a very long season last season of me predicting you to get a podium, and it hasn't happened. The one day I don't, you get it. So here we are. but congratulations anyway today. Let's go through your qualifying first anyway before we get anywhere
Won't
else.
take long.
That's right, yeah, so let's get on to your race then.
Cutting edge reporting as always, Josh.
Exactly, lads. Nothing but the best. You had a very interesting race, obviously. You have a lot to talk about. You came from 19th all the way up to 3rd, so take it away with everything that happened.
Well, first opening laps, there was chaos in turn 1, so I think I got up into, P10 after that. But then I was stuck in the midfield for a good few laps until the pitting stage. So I think it all opened up when everyone pitted, and obviously some people were on different strategies. A lot of people somehow carried the softs up to lap 12 and 11 and then pitted, which
Yeah.
I didn't think you could do around this track, but however. And then near the end of the race, the safety cars, I didn't think it would help me, but then the chaos after the first one, where I think three lads in front of me spun, I think,
Mm.
um, and then the second one, I didn't want the second one because I thought I was going to lose the position to K Flemo, I think was behind me, but then
Hmm.
I think he also spun and Rory Drain was on my tail for the last
Exactly,
few
yeah.
laps.
Um, Now onto the, I think it was either the second last or the last lap. You had a little battle with the man ahead of you. Did you think there was a chance you might have gotten past him there? What were your thoughts going through there? Because you sent one on him, and I thought you might have had it, but you didn't quite have the grip coming out of it. What were your thoughts on that one?
I wanted to battle him and I wanted to try and get past him again, but then again, I didn't want to get out of the 3 seconds of, I think
Mm,
it was Brontosaurus in front of me.
yeah,
So I just laid off him for the last lap.
exactly. Yeah. It was the best thing to do. I think we saw a few dives from you tonight, so something for the highlight reel anyway.
Yeah.
But it's a great race, a great start to the season. So do you think you might be able to finish a few more races this season without any flashbacks? Hopefully you were practicing having no flashbacks on this season. But what are your thoughts now for the rest of the season? What do you think can happen? Do you think you might be able to challenge for that championship?
No, not a chance. Um,
Great to have a bit
I
of
hate,
confidence.
basically hate every track that's coming up. I hated
Right.
this track, but sure look,
So you've filled us with confidence, Ryan, and I'm sure you'll be back with us next next week.
don't say
But
that.
congratulations anyway on your podium. Is this your first podium in League of Ireland?
No,
No,
no.
first podium in Tier 3, we'll say anyway. Is it?
Yeah, I think so.
There we go. But well done anyway, and I'm sure we'll be talking to you again at some point.
Well done, Ryan. And that leads us on to the main man, Mr. Tier 4 World Champion, Budge.
You,
How's things?
yup. What's the crack, lads?
Good to see
Yup.
you here. Are you surprised, or are you?
I'm as surprised as you were.
Well, I'm not surprised at all because you're always a crafty fucker on track. But come here, we'll come to all of that. Start with quali, which obviously was an interesting session because it was kind of wet to dry, not fully dry, but it nearly got there. How did you feel about P5? Were you happy with the lap you tied together, timing on track and all of that?
There was definitely a couple more tenths in it. Maybe I think I was probably looking to get out 18.3, maybe.
Right.
But I wasn't too bad. I was happy because I think the track was dry, but you know yourself, you're still to be a bit cautious or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think I timed it really well. Coming out, I was thinking about, right, I'll do a lap, and I turn on the ERS on the second last lap I was doing,
Yeah.
and a little bit through, I was like, no, and I aborted it, and then I said, right, I knew I had 127 when I crossed the line, so I said I can make it around
A
within
little
a
bit
few
of time to
seconds,
play with. Yeah.
a couple of seconds, and then I said, right, just give it all, and look, it wasn't a perfect lap, but it was good enough. I knew the longer I left it, the more chance I had of being higher up. But it was good.
Exactly.
It ended up working out anyway at the end of the day.
Yeah,
But
and
I
outside
was
of the
happy
lap
enough.
itself, I assume P5 probably a little higher, maybe. Would that be fair to say than you would have expected to be on raw
Yes,
pace?
100%. Yeah, the rain gave me that,
Yeah.
the mixing up with the rain and, the great equaliser and all that. People probably just not hooking a lap together under a bit of pressure or whatever, but look,
Work for you.
just got enough in, yeah.
Yeah, and then moving on to the race, obviously one of the only drivers in the first, I think, 10 slots to start on the hards, and certainly the only one to stay out of trouble on the hards. So when it came to those forced pit stops, which we got to naturally, you were the only one running on the hards in that segment. Did you think you were going to come out as close to the lads on that second stint as you did? You popped out on those mediums, probably only 3 seconds, I think, behind the leading pack.
Believe it or not, I actually thought I was going to come out ahead of them.
Did you?
Yes, because the MFD said I would.
Fuck's sake.
First mistake.
You know, yeah, I know exactly. But like that's obviously taken into account a perfect stop going into the pits, so you don't get your 5 seconds. You know what I mean, and all that. So I knew I wouldn't, to be honest with you. I knew but I knew I'd gain time on them because it was flicking between second and third, and I said, "Fuck, I'm gonna just empty the tank here and go in."
Yeah.
And I had Ronan behind me, Ronosaurus on the fucking what was he on, the mediums, was it? Or no, the softs going for, was it? I can't remember what he went on. He was behind me and he was going
Rowan was on the softs, yeah.
he was going well too long, and I was like, how is he fucking going so fucking long?
Yeah.
And I just said, look, I'm going to go in here now and just play my own race rather than not kind of worry about what he's doing, and he'll come back to me. And I just went in when I felt it was right, and it seemed to work out. I wasn't expecting safety cars from this track, and I was like, look, P5, if I get something like P5, I'd be delighted. And then like the lads were faster ahead of me, so I don't know how they weren't further ahead by the time I came out of the pits, whether they were battling with each other or whatever else. Ronosaurus was battling with I can't remember who was battling with in the first stint of the race, and that gave us a gap. Me and Flemo were just not really fighting, just trying to pull each other along and gap them at the back. And so when I came out on the mediums, I was a little bit surprised, to be honest with you. But no, I knew I was surprised I'd gain time on them.
Yeah.
They must have been battling. I don't know what it was, but then the safety car, I was like, not going in. Not even a question about it. Not even a question about it. I'm not going in. I think it was 9 laps left, 10 laps left. Ronosaurus, came out and had softs on a lap at that stage. He had 3 seconds. Right. I had Sanko behind him on hards. I was hoping he'd last a little bit longer than 2 corners.
Yeah, cork in the bottle.
Yeah, and I knew I wouldn't win the race from there because I knew they'd catch me eventually. I was thinking maybe third in that scenario after the safety car, but I think I got an epic fucking restart on them.
Both times.
Backed them right up, and I got a good, which gave me a little bit of a buffer for a lap or two, and then just another safety car gods saved me, because I definitely wasn't going to hold off. I wasn't going to hold off Ronan. I might have stayed within his 3 seconds.
3 seconds, yeah.
Then Ryan there, I knew he was going to come flying through as well, and of course we all nearly binned it there. In the first
corner. 1.
Yeah,
we seen you have the snap.
I hit the right hand side, yellow, whatever you call it.
The sausage curve thing on entry, yeah.
And it gave me a little shuffle. I think Ronan touched the back of me a little bit, which is fair enough. It wasn't his fault really. And then obviously we had himself coming up beside him, and I was, we used to just fuck off before each other. I was thinking, let me go.
Yeah.
And then the safety car came out, and then I was like, I have to get a good restart here. If I get a good restart, I'm going to win this. I got a good restart, and I won it.
And funny enough, what you wouldn't have been aware of when you were sitting in P4-5 after coming out of the pits, when there hadn't been a safety car, the 3 lads out front were all under fueled quite heavily. So you were the leading car that was going to make it to the end on fuel. But right. Whether or not it would have obviously turned out that way come to the end, who fucking knows? But no, look, you drove a great race, and I suppose with that in mind, what do you hope to have from this season? I mean, I know you're coming up as the champion, and you're going to say, well, just take it steady and whatever else, but your pace is obviously quite competitive.
When I won the first race last season, I was like, that's it. I just wanted to win a race, and I was like, I didn't ever think that I was going to fucking win the season. Now, I definitely won't win the season, but look, if I finished around after 10 races in P5, I'll be very happy. Realistically, like a couple of podiums and good racing,
Exactly. So, and what about a constructor's shout? Because obviously you've yourself and Rory, he's obviously get on very well, so you can work together, but you are also both very similar in terms of, he's quick, but you are very steady in terms of decision making and staying out of trouble. So do you think that's a realistic possibility? We do
work well together, as we weren't teammates last year, but we worked together until the last race.
We'll say no more about it.
Yeah, but that wasn't him, that was the other fella. Let's not name names. I think we have a good shout with constructors with Rory.
Yeah.
He had from the finish where he finished after having a first lap incident than having the pit and all. Like, it was
Exactly.
a great comeback, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's much faster than me, and I think I'm very consistent myself. I make the right decisions at the right time. He's even more consistent and makes better decisions all the time, like, you know, so he's just that little bit ahead of me, like, so he
And
should finish ahead of me at the end of the season.
before I ask you about Miami, is there a little part of you that's disappointed that Kachiga's not on the grid for you to lock horns with this season?
Very much so. I miss him.
We're raging ourselves. We thought we'd get to see that great battle this season, but sure.
I think he chickened out because he knew I was coming back. I think that's what
I wouldn't like to speculate, but I think you're right.
I'm telling you, that's what it was. You know?
Talk to me about Miami, Budge. Do you like it? Do you hate it? How do you feel about it?
I hate it, yeah. Oh, look, if I finish in top 10 in that one now, I'd be surprised. It's a shocking track.
Yeah.
It really is a shocking track. I think it's a good time trial track, actually, for flying around, but for racing, it's shite.
It's tough, yeah.
Yeah, so...
Good stuff. Well, look, I personally think we'll be talking to you again quite shortly, but listen, we'll see how it goes, and if we're not talking to you, sure, best of luck for the rest of the season, alright, Butch?
Cheers, lads. Cheers, Josh, and everybody else, and well done, Ryan.
Perfect. Well done, Budge. Congratulations on the podium, or on the win, I should say.
Yeah.
Now, we're not finished here. We have some very exciting news, and something else very exciting happening after. We have another edition, and the first edition of this season, of the Catfish Chronicles. Ooh, I know you're all behind your screens shouting and cheering. You're so excited to hear this, as we are. But yeah, we have Catfish Corey for the Catfish Chronicles, and go ahead, take it away, Corey.
How are we, lads? Here, stick around for a minute, actually. I want to talk to you.
Oh no.
I want to talk to you too. I've noticed something recently.
Oh no.
People are always asking, how are Josh and Cav so funny? Or, how does Josh and Cav do it? But nobody ever asks, how are Josh and Cav? So, how are you, lads?
Oh, that's nice. I'm good, Corey. I'm good. Thanks for asking.
I'm absolutely miserable, Corey, and if I wasn't on such a big wage to be here with Josh every week, I wouldn't show up. But listen, Slater pays the big bucks, and that's all that matters.
That's completely understandable. I'm only here for a few minutes, and I want to be paid more. But anyway, so I have a few questions to put to the two of you.
Okay.
Who do you think will win Tier 3?
That's a very good question. You have a lot of quick lads, but to put it simple, I'm going to give it to Budge. I think Budge, he showed something today. He showed that he can keep out of trouble, make the right decisions. As long as he plays his cards right, everything comes his way, which it has done last season, has done today. I think he can come away with it. If not Budge, I think I would say Ryan Curran will win it. I've just cursed him there for the rest of the season, but
we won't be seeing Ryan again. I would say mine's twofold. If there is a name that has come back to the league who I think will run away with it if he shows up, the fact he didn't show up today is an ominous sign, but I think having raced with him, if Irish Gary shows up every week for the rest of the season, and he's the Irish Gary we know, I do think he will be able to secure the title. If Gary doesn't, then I actually think it's going to be Rory Drain, because Drainer, without a doubt, is just always up there in the top kind of 5, 6. Even when things don't go his way, he was involved in an incident today that, was none of his fault, and still somehow got back to P4 by the end of the race. He just has a knack for it, so I think Drainer will be the man. Strangely enough, I'm predicting Gary or Drain, and we both know the history there, but I definitely think it'll be one or the other. It just depends on how committed Gary actually is this time around for me.
Interesting. See, Cav, great minds think alike. I'm on Rory's bandwagon as well.
Be a popular choice.
Josh is an idiot. Did your opinions change after tonight? Cav, by your answer, you're still with Rory no matter what happened tonight anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Just from watching, I watched a lot of Tier 4 last season. I'd have a vested interest, obviously, because I got along quite well with the likes of Budge, with the likes of Rory Drain, and we've Jam and Mayo coming up to Tier 3 this season as well, who I would have been watching in Tier 4. And just with Rory, you can always just see that there's more within the car. Like, he very much drives within himself. He doesn't make mistakes, and it's rare enough to see him not recover when races don't go his way. And I think it's that separates him from probably a lot of this tier, is that even when he has a first lap or a third lap or a fifth lap incident, he will always still recover and make the most of it. Whereas I think with other drivers, you see they either compound the mistake or they just retire in the pits, and you never see that with Rory. And from nowhere today, he's come back to fourth, and that's just exactly why I think he's always up and around there when it comes to the championships. But as I said, I do think it all comes back to Gary. Will Gary come back and compete? If he does, he's the quickest driver and most consistent in this tier for me. But no doubt, if he's not there, Rory will just accumulate so many points in a 10 race season as well, where you can't afford more than ever to make too many DNFs or mistakes.
Yeah, it would have been such a short one. And Josh,
Exactly.
what about you?
No. Not answering any more questions.
Don't be a baby. Come on now. Be a professional.
Fine,
we all
fine.
have to work together. You think we're happy about working with you? Come on.
Yeah, definitely. I think today has changed my opinion. I wouldn't have said Budge at the start. But I think last season they all worked his way. Yeah, worked out his way. But it just seems to happen. Just everything seems to be coming up Budge every single race. So I can't see past
the
it.
Millhouse at tier 3.
LOI Millhouse, I think, will win the championship, right? Now, whether he likes that nickname or not, it's sticking with him.
We will make sure it sticks. Yeah, exactly.
But
We have to.
yeah, I didn't think Millhouse would have won it this season before this race. But after the win today, he's driven a flawless race. Whether he's the fastest on track, I don't know. But I think he's the most lucky and very consistent, keeps out of trouble. Whether he's going to win every race, I don't think he's going to win every race. But he'll get a P4 on a bad day, or a P3 or a P5. He'll keep on racking in the points. I think that's what's going to win him this season.
Interesting. Very interesting. I like his new nickname, being honest.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Now let's focus more on you two. Are the two of you ready for your seasons?
Oh, Jesus. Well, I mean, it's a tricky one. Tier 1 is competitive. Of course, I'm an absolute top-class driver, Corey. You haven't seen anything the likes of it, right?
Nah, never seen anything like it.
No, you haven't seen how many P8s I got last season. It can't be done. But yeah, I think I've gotten a little bit of confidence last season after getting the podium. The first 1-2 I've ever had with a teammate. Not adding any teammates I've had in the past. But no, happy enough with last season. I think this season, with a few things going my way, I have a few nice tracks on there. I have Canada, one of my favourites. Brazil, I think Abu Dhabi's coming back up. It's one of my better ones.
Calendar.
Not on the calendar, so
That was a surprise.
yeah. Well, that's something that's championship a little bit down the toilet. I'm not going to win it, Jesus Christ, by any means. Like last season, I said top 10, I'd be happy with. This season, I want to go with top 8. That's what I'd be happy with. I'll keep on moving my way up. But yeah, I'm happy enough with how I think it's going to go.
Nice. And Cav?
Yeah,
Shy.
I'm a bit blindsided by this interrogation. I was actually expecting to jog off 10 minutes ago, but let me think. Yeah, look, the time I put into the game has, for a variety of reasons, become substantially lower over the last kind of 6 months. So I've definitely noticed, whereas I was probably going to be competitive to tier 2 coming up when I was hitting the game hard, that I've definitely dropped back into that kind of, midfield to backpack. But bit like what we've seen today, when cards fall the right way and a bit of luck with safety cars, etc., definitely, I'm able to grind out results, and I hope, I suppose, that'll continue. I'm, very happy to be back in my Red Bull once again, and I have Spidey working with me this season, and Spidey and myself will bounce stuff off each other quite a bit in pre-race, etc. already, so it does help now that we're both driving for the same team. And what we're, I suppose, hoping more than anything is a bit like, I think, Budge and Rory Drain. They may not expect to be right at the front, but that we can just suck up good points on a weekly basis when other drivers make mistakes. So no, I'm just hoping to keep things tidy. I don't have the raw pace to be at the front of tier 2 with the likes of, you've your James Mallons and a few others who've really come on over the last, couple of seasons. But I'll hopefully be there and thereabouts. And on certain tracks, I do think I'll compete a lot better than others. I think, like Josh has said, Canada and Brazil are two good ones for me. Weirdly, I actually think I might be able to do well at Monaco because I tend to keep things quite clean at Monaco. I'll probably go into the fucking force barrier now that I've said that. But I feel like races like that where it's likely that other drivers will run into trouble, that I might be able to, lap up some points and do quite well. And I think we finished the season in Silverstone, which is traditionally a good track for me. So hopefully I'll go out on a high there as well. But yeah, looking forward to it. I enjoy the challenge of Tier 2 being above my standard and clawing for results, rather than maybe if I was in 3, I'd be a little bit further up the pack and maybe a bit more comfortable on the weekly basis with more pressure. So it's kind of like a free hit every week.
Nice. I appreciate this, lads. I know it was a curveball, but I needed content for tonight,
Excellent.
It was
Well, I
a long
don't
time for that
appreciate it
safety
because
car.
my salary stopped getting paid at 10:30, so this is all free time on my book. But
Well,
anything for
hold
you,
on now.
Corey?
I do have one more
Oh,
because
Oh,
Jesus.
Jesus.
I did hear something going off during the stream, and I want to know which one of you was eating cereal, because I heard a spoon hit a bowl a
Well,
couple of times.
I can guarantee you, bearing in mind there was 4 people in the party. You were one of them, Catfish. So let's assume it wasn't you, unless you don't
Yeah.
realise you're eating cereal yourself. And then me and Josh are busy commentating. There was a question mark 4th participant who was lurking in the background, making a lot of noise. So I'm not going to point fingers, but that may be the reason we turfed him off to McLaren.
Oh, he was great entertainment, being honest with you.
True, but listen, there's no bad time of the day to have a bowl of Lucky Charms, and I'm sure that's what Big Dave was getting into
Absolutely.
him, so good for him.
Well, thank you very much, lads, and I wish
No
you
problem.
the best of luck with your seasons.
Pleasure as
Corey.
always, Catfish.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that little tidbit. Well, welcome back to another season of Tier 4 racing. I mean Tier 3. There was just quite a few Tier 4 drivers in there tonight. And they're doing quite well, which scares me for tomorrow. I'm kind of screwed. But anyway, let's move on. Let's see what bullet points I have for during the race. The wet quality was a bit of a letdown. Didn't last as long as I thought, and there really wasn't that many spins or crashes during it. Rory is a beast. Don't let anyone tell you different. Fuck you, Josh. You're an absolute walking jinx. He was about to get pole, and you fucked him. He literally made it with 1 second to go, and you go, oh, I wonder if he spins. Boom. Rory, gone. Fuck you. Softs are as useful as no tyres in a race. That's my opinion. And that's probably why I'm in Tier 4, but look, it is what it is. Who's the cameraman for the stream? Because they deserve their P45. We were watching someone just drive around when the Barter4 was doing a spin-a-rooney somewhere on the track. That would have been entertaining. I would like to see that. Josh, you need to go to speech therapy if you're going to continue on these comms. And I really advise you to just take it up. Daniel Mullen. It's very easy. Very easy to say. Actually, don't take it up and then I'll replace you and me and Cav will have some crack. Actually, it'll sound good. Dave with a dramatic entrance coming in late. But my god, did he make it more entertaining. Saved the two lads on comms from absolute death. Said the smartest thing by backing Rory. Also loved that he was absolutely getting locked on in a bottle of Buckfast. Professional as fuck. Oh yeah, Josh, did the old safety car spice things up for you? I didn't really think it did. He didn't mention it at all. What was that safety car for? Does there anyone know in the comments? Because I have no idea. Oh yeah. Big Bad Dave was all of us before the first safety car. Me personally, I wasn't clipping my toenails. I was watching the Golden State game. Each to their own, but that was hilarious. What do you think of the race, Dave? Dad just clipping me toenails, don't know. Our own personal Chris Kamara. It's just brilliant. It's amazing. Yeah, lads have to have him back. I guarantee you I do the exact same spin as Sanko and Griffin. Tune in to Tier 4 tomorrow night to find out. Now, I will have to see different angles on this, but my opinion as a steward, King Papa got a bit bashy there at the end, and I know the two lads were giving him props, but like, knocking people off track's not a sound thing to do. A 2-lap sprint was the best thing to happen to that race. It made it so much more exciting. And it was right, like the fact that it was right at the end. It gave us all a nice little present for waiting around for something to happen. And then boom, 2-lap sprint. Let's go. Again, fuck you, Josh. Rory would have won that race if it wasn't for your jinx. Fuck you, Josh. Rory's, as anyone could guess, Rory is definitely my favourite to win it. Let's have a look at incident request. See who's on the naughty list. Ronan Saurus and Blue Gunner. During quali. Oh wait, who got a grid? Blue Gunner got the grid pen. Oh, they obviously want Ronan Saurus' angle as well. Yeah, Blue Gunner, you really fucked yourself on that one, didn't you? Wheelo, lap 30, sector 1. Heh. And that's the end of that chapter. See? That 2-lap sprint was the best thing to happen to this race. Right, now for the cockpit view. Jesus, I really am showing my favoritism this week. I only interviewed Rory. I also was out last night, so he was the only one I had the headspace for to interview this morning. Try have a few Guinness and interview people. It's impossible. Anyway. Are you excited to be a full-time driver in Tier 3? He said, excited for the season ahead for sure. Pity it's just a short season. I prefer longer seasons. That's what she said. Excited for my new teammate. Last year's championship rival, but we race in another league and have been in the same parties for a few seasons. What a bromance. Oh, it might be like Yuki and Pierre. Oh, I missed that. With both of our consistencies, I fancy us for the Constructors' title. Well, you can blame Josh for jinxing you tonight. Whether either of us can go for the drivers, I don't know. I think you will, especially Rory. How do you think this season will go now that you can fully focus on this tier? Because don't forget, he was actually a Tier 4 driver last year and still whooped Tier 3 for the crack. He said, I'm away in Portugal for the penultimate race, which won't help at all in such a short season. Yeah, it's heartbreaking, but I think you're gonna... Dylan! Why? Sorry. Just got a notification. Rory has been added to the naughty list. Fuck's sake. Lap 1 sector? Fucking hell. Anyway, is what it is. Heartbreaking. Anyway, sorry. There's definitely faster drivers. Sanko was faster than both of us last year, and there's one or two coming down from Tier 2 that are fast. Ryan and the two Aarons are all fast. If they can keep up their consistency, they'll be hard to beat. Also, Sandbagger-in-Chief Mayo Man, I think, had hoped to stay in Tier 4, but the LOI bigwigs rightly brought him up to 3. Him and Jam are also a good team. That's nice of him. Are you shitting yourself for Monaco like me? He said, when I seen Monaco, part of me cried. I felt that, right in my heart. In the deep, deepness of my heart, I felt that. I cried too. Apart from Monaco, are there any other tracks you're a bit cautious of this season? As for the rest, there's not too many. I hate Monaco, but all 10 races have decent possibility of rain, which I think would suit me. I think it would suit you too, as long as Josh doesn't open his dirty mouth. Are you looking forward to the next game? I'll get the new game, but not exactly enthused with all the bugs. Of course, EA are just releasing another pile of shit. I fucking hate that they took over this game. Anyway, it better be good. Will you be playing the new Breaking Point story? No. Since starting working nights, I don't even do online lobbies. Stick to my 2 league races a week and some practice. Just racing against AI is shite. Hopefully I get to talk to the 2 GOATs, Josh and Cav, this season a few times. I'd be happy with some podiums and a top 3 or 4 fourth place. 3rd or 4th place. I don't know, he didn't really spell that one out. He just said a top 3/4. I bet you he definitely changed his opinion about Josh being a GOAT after tonight. I definitely would. Well, anyway, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for staying tuned with me again this week, and I hope to see you again next week.